Hi guys, this is Miss Robinson. I'm the school counselor for students with last names A through G. So today starts our scheduling unit for next school year. So over the next 3 weeks, there's going to be a lot of different components. So we can walk through all things scheduling and we can end these 3 weeks with kind of talking through what next school year will look like for you. So over the next 4 days, today through Thursday, there will be a screencast in homeroom going over different pieces of scheduling. So to kind of start off, just as a recap, so there are 3 school counselors here at the high school. So I work with students with last names A through G. Mrs. Barrientos is the school counselor for students with last names H through P. And Mrs. Peterworth is the school counselor for last names Q through Z. So today's screencast is going to be super quick, but it's just really kind of going over the timeline for these next 3 weeks so you know what to anticipate for the scheduling unit. So kind of a little snapshot of the next 3 weeks. So this week, Monday through Thursday, you will receive a screencast during your homeroom. Short and sweet. They will also be posted to your class Google Classroom, but it's just a way to kind of introduce different topics that will help set up the rest of the weeks of scheduling. So tomorrow's screencast is going to be when you will receive all of the resources that you need to kind of look at all the class options and what next year will look like. So that's going to be your course guidebook, elective flyers, course offering sheets. So all of those resources will be published starting tomorrow in your class Google Classroom. Families will also receive a letter through IC Messenger, and that will also have links to all the different resources. So today, you do not have access to any of those resources, but starting tomorrow, after your screencast in homeroom, once I walk through all of those resources, you will have access to that on your class Google Classroom. On Wednesday during homeroom, we're going to walk through graduation requirements and some major changes that are happening for next school year regarding some of our course structures. Thursday is going to be a transcript check and kind of a recap as to what the next 2 weeks will look like. And then that concludes your screencasts in homeroom. Friday, to wrap up kind of the introductions and the resources that you have received, is when you will meet as a whole group, as a class, on Friday with the school counselors. So for the juniors, they will meet during first period with school counselors. We will call you out of class. Sophomores will meet during second period, and freshmen will meet during EDGE. Freshmen, you have already been assigned that EDGE session in enriching students. So for EDGE on Friday, you just come directly to the auditorium. Friday is also when you'll receive your physical schedule card. So this is a change than what we've had in the past. So previously, you guys have received digital schedule cards on your class Google Classroom. But this school year, you guys are going to have a physical schedule card that you will keep up with, and you will have parent signatures, teacher signatures. Everything is going to happen on that schedule card that you have to keep up with. So you receive that during your social studies class on Friday. We will review what that looks like and all the components during your class meeting. And then you will turn in your schedule card to your social studies class on that following Thursday, which is the 12th. So that second week of scheduling is designed for you to have conversations with your core content teachers to talk through the next course progression within that content field. So those core content classes would be your math, your science, your social studies, and your English classes. So what to expect is in a full group when you're in your class, let's say for English, your teacher will talk through what options you have for English for that next school year. So that way you kind of know, here are my options. From there, you will have a one-on-one conversation with your English teacher, whoever your core content teacher is, and you will talk through what makes the most sense for you and what class you will progress to for that following school year. Those recommendations and that conversation will lead to you completing part of your schedule card. And then on the 12th, that is when your schedule card is complete. So that means you have talked with your teachers, you have gone home, and you have talked with your family, you have inputted your electives, your alternates, you have signed it, you've had a guardian signature, everything is done, and you then submit that to your social studies class. That all leads to that final step of scheduling, which is those counselor conversations. So if you are a current sophomore or junior, this is not new to you. We have completed this the past few years, and this is so that way at the very end of scheduling, your counselor will pull you out of your social studies class for a one-on-one conversation, and we review that schedule card with you. We review what those teacher recommendations are, and we kind of finalize that piece and input all those requests on Infinite Campus, which is kind of that final step that the counselors then work through. So at that time, because you each will have a one-on-one conversation with your counselor, you most likely will have some questions that come up during these, the 2 weeks prior. So make a list of what those questions are. And then when you have that one-on-one conversation, we will make sure that we answer all the things and figure out the best steps moving forward for what you need for your next school year. So all freshmen will meet with their counselor during their social studies class on the 17th, which is a Tuesday. 10th graders will meet on Wednesday, and then juniors will meet on Thursday. So this counselors will pop up into social studies classes and pull you out into the hallway. And so that's when you will have those individual conversations. If you are a Kappa student, you will receive your schedule card when you're loading the bus on the 6th, and then you will submit your schedule card when you're loading the bus on the 12th. School counselors will pull out Kappa and then College Core students on Friday. And then any students who might have been absent during their designated day, we will also grab you on that Friday. So this is kind of just a screenshot so you know over the next 3 weeks, scheduling is happening and different steps are moving forward. So I just want you to have kind of a good idea as to what that looks like. And then tomorrow is when I will walk through all the different resources that you need to know about. And that's when those go live on your Class School Classroom. So have a wonderful rest of your day.